Hello my friends, and this is the first video of the series Coloring for Christmas. And I kind of want to just walk you through some of the things you're going to need before we actually get into making cards. There are 3 cards in this class. This first one has lots of detail, and this one uses just the one Christmas Dreams stamp set and dies, just the way they are. So I've taken mine apart, and you've seen that in a previous video. Fawn dies come hooked together, and you will need a little pair of clippers. I have links to all of these things that you're going to need. So you have to do a little bit of work to make them usable because they're all hooked together, but they're really affordable, and that's why I love them. And they're itty bitty. So those are the dies, and these are our stamps. You've noticed I've got a few things stamped and dyed in here. This is a great way to have things ready to go when you just feel like, oh, you know, I wish I had another cat, or I wish I had a ribbon. If you have a few of them when you're stamping, I tend to stamp out a whole sheet full of whatever I'm doing. Yep, this is a different one. This is the one for this stamp, this card, I'm sorry. And this uses this sweet little Merry Christmas die, which is right here. This is a separate standalone die. You just grab this by itself, and that gives you Merry Christmas. One cut, all the letters are stuck together. So easy to put down. There's that. And then this card uses a little bit of both. This great Merry Christmas title. You notice that it's straight. I made it go curvy because, you know, we got to do it our own way. And then I also use, let's see, this is a collection of 2 different dies, 2 different sets. This is from the Christmas Dreams. The Merry Christmas is by itself. And then in Christmas Dreams, we have, let me pull them out. You have your presents right here, and your tree, the kitty, the carpet, and just some simple background paper. Okay, I could do way more if you like, but I like the simplicity of this. We'll talk about when we get to this actual card how we got these colors to all match, because that's a weird red, right? Yeah, I'll talk about that with you. This one, remember, it's the Merry Christmas. Then it's the dog from Christmas Dreams with his present and his carpet to sleep on. And then this one is from, and I wish I knew its name. Oh, it's Pazza something. Hold on. This one is Positive Christmas. And it's the cat and the dog, and then it's got some cute little sayings that go with it. I didn't use any of the sayings. And then I want to show, and then there's one more cute trick that I'm going to show you, and that is taking the cat out of the stocking. We did a little snipping with our scissors, and I put him on top of the fireplace from Christmas Dreams, added his stocking, and he can go on the front of any card using Merry Christmas. He could replace this. He could go on this one along with the cat. I just thought that was really cute, depending on your pet, to set it up for yours. Okay, so I will put the links of all the things that you're going to need below, but you can always use your own. If you don't have this die set, but you like this idea, follow along, use your own. All of my cards start with a simple card base, and I just want to review that for you. I'm also only using Memento, and my color is coming from Spectrum Noir markers. Why am I using Spectrum Noir? I've done a couple of shorter videos explaining it, but there's 3 colors in one marker. So I'm not having to go out and buy 2 or 3 or 4 to get the variation that I want. Copics are great, but I only have 1 red. And if I wanted to get light, medium, and dark, I would need more than 1 red. So that's why I love these. And I will say the coloring, if you're coloring something in a big area, it's a little trickier with these. You just have to have a lighter hand. If you're coloring Lawn Fawn though, they're little, they're so forgiving. They're the best way to color and feel good about what you're doing. So you're going to need some Spectrum Noir markers depending on how you want them. I bought a collection of them and I put the link, again, I'll put the link of what I did because I always want to know what someone's using. I don't necessarily need to go buy it, but I want to know. I am shopping on Amazon now because I love it and it's Amazon and it comes really quick and it gets delivered. The links that I share are my affiliate links with Amazon, which means Amazon sends me a little something something when you use my link, and thank you so much. It lets me buy more so I can shop some more. The dog, this is how it comes. In order to make mine with the, which I've lost already because I always lose them. Yep, he's gone. Oh, here. So I could switch this kitty and put the puppy up there. And then he could have his dog Bone. Remember, he's got this sweet little Bone. He also has another stocking. He could have that. So don't be stuck with, well, that's what you did. But maybe you have something else. Like these guys are really cute from the camping one. And maybe they can go under the Christmas tree if you don't happen to have a dog or a cat. Maybe you have a raccoon. You never know. All right, watch for the follow-up videos. Videos. There's going to be 3, 1 for each card, so they don't get super long. Be sure you subscribe so that you don't miss one. See you soon. Hello there, my friends. It is time for Merry Christmas card number 1. And this starts with the card base, as I always say. The card base is 8.5 by 11, cut in half. So now it's 8.5 by 5.5. And then I'm going to score it at 4 1/4 on the 8.5 side. I know, it's a little tedious. I like to do a bunch of these and then I have them, okay? So there's your card base. Next, there's a piece of pattern paper. This is from Lawn Fawn, but it can be anything that you have. And this is 4 by 5 1/4. And that goes right here in the front and leaves you a little bit of a nice frame right around your card. Okay, so let's put that down so we don't get carried away and forget what we're doing. And this can just be simple adhesive, nothing fancy schmancy. I like the Lawn Fawn liquid, and I'll show you liquid glue when I'm working with the little elements because it lets me move them a little bit. But this tape runner works good to put that on the front. Okay, so now my card base is ready. And if you're looking at this, you're thinking, well, that's not like a real red. So I tested a few of my Spectrum Noirs and I came up with Coral Blend, which sounds crazy. This doesn't really look like coral. But the easiest way to do it is to take a scrap and just color and see what you think. That's the light. And here's the dark. The dark is pretty close to the actual color of my paper, right? So I am going to go with the Coral Blend. And that's what I use to color in my dog. The stocking is the Coral Blend. Then I used tan to do my dog, a little lighter, a little darker. I'm going to show you on this guy where you decide to go with the darker. Remember I said this is cool because it's 3 of them? I've already cut him out. Sometimes it's easier if you haven't cut it out yet to stamp a bunch of them and then color them on the one sheet. But I wanted you to be able to see this and I didn't want to run yeah. Okay. So you start with the light and you're going to go over his ears. See how it's not like a big space, so it's not daunting? The beauty of alcohol markers is that they don't leave lines when you're done drawing. Other markers, you would see all these crazy lines that I just did. You want to go really careful not to go over the edge, right? And you just do small areas. So I'm going to go ahead. There's his head, and I want to get a little darker. Well, where's the dark going to be? Where there's shadows. So under here, under his ear, along his muzzle, and on this ear. Then I'm going to come back to the light and go over the whole thing again, and that blends all the colors together. And you're thinking, I don't know, Kara, that looks a little funky. Give it a sec, it'll dry and it will look great. And then continue on. Now his paw is under his chin, so that's going to be darker. So is this one, but I'm going to start with my light, and so is this space right here under his ear, right? Those are going to be a little bit darker. So I'm going to pop in. I'm not using the darkest one. I could, depending on your dog. And I'm going to just do a little bit here. And to be 100% honest with you, I don't really like coloring on camera because I try to hurry and it doesn't really come out the way I like it. Coloring is super relaxing, but you don't need an audience necessarily. So if I don't color a lot with you, it's because I like to color privately. Okay. I usually go out of the lines when you're watching. All right, whoops. And there is dog number 2. Okay. So he's going to go down here. Then I need my bone, which I did all in the light tan, except for the ribbon. And when you're doing something little like this, sometimes just dots is easier, right? Because you don't want to go outside the lines. You want to stay inside the lines. And this is pretty tiny, so you can just dot it. You really don't need to shade it. And then I used my same red, but this time I went with the dark. Notice it tells you on the end. And I did my ribbon in the dark coral. So there, that's for my dog. And then I have to do my carpeting. Now this is a bigger space and I get to do a little bit more with it. Again, start with the light. Another trick that you can use is really talented artists draw all your stamp sets, right? Not us, artists. We're colorers. And so use the lines that they put on the images to help you know where to kind of shade it in, where to use a darker shade. So I'm going to color my alcohol markers dry slowly, but they dry. Part of the blending beauty comes in when they're still a little bit wet. So if you are slow with this, only do part of it, don't do the whole thing. Then grab a darker. You notice I tend to go with the middle and go around that stitching, right? And you're thinking that's not very pretty, Kara, that line's not straight. Come back with your light, and now it will all blend in together. Now I could have left some highlight right in the center near my dog, but I'm not, because my dog is going to cast a shadow on the carpet, right where his body is, because the light of the tree is going to be above it. I'm going to take a little bit of the darkest one. I'm just going to go in here where the dog is and come back with the lightest and blend it all in. You don't want to scrub, you want kind of a light hand. Let it dry, and Mr. Puppy is going to go right here, and you can see that the shading where he is looks a little bit more realistic. It doesn't look so flat. And then I'm going to grab myself a foam dot, pop that on the back of my pup, and then he's going to sit right here. Okay, so he's ready. Oh, he needs his bone. I'm going to do that after. And then I have this guy. He's ready. I use some Wink of Stella in here. Wink of Stella is super cool. I didn't know what it was before, and I used to feel stupid when other people would say, "I'll put some Wink on it." And I was like, what? What? Wink of Stella is like this clear glimmer that adds just a little bit. In fact, you probably can't see it on the camera. You might be able to see the shimmer on this part of him, of the fur of his stocking. Okay, Last but not least is my Merry Christmas. And I left it like this because I wanted to show you. Sometimes this can be tricky to run through your die cut machine. It doesn't all just like fall out. Some of it does, but it doesn't all fall out. So you might need a little extra pressure depending on your, whatever your die cut machine is. And take your time getting it out. It is all connected, it's all one, but you want to make sure you don't rip anything out of it. If, like, see this E doesn't really want to come, bend it a little bit. You can always take snips and help it along if that happens. I'm finding that my die cut machine, so this is what I mean by if you need to do snips, just get right where it's supposed to be and just go right along and reinforce it. You're good to go. If your pads are getting worn, you might not get as good a cut on one like this. So I need a new, I'm using the Anna Griffin Impress Junior. I love it, especially for small things like this one. But see how badly my magnetic plate is? It's been used a lot. So I might need to replace this, but it's just so cool for something like this. It sticks right to it. It doesn't fall off. My plates are good. My plates aren't too beat up, but my magnet sheet, and I've had this for a long time and done a lot of dies with it. Okay, just a little FYI about die cuts. Now I'm ready to put Merry Christmas on. This gets, again, it's a tricky little bugger. There's a lot of it, and it's tiny, but this is where the wonderful glue, the liquid glue, comes in. I really like this one. It dries clear, doesn't come out super crazy. Oh, let me hope this is the one I've been using. It is, okay. There's 3 of them sitting over here. They come in a pack of 3. Again, Amazon, love it. You can go directly to the Lawn Fawn store. It comes pretty quickly, but it's California. And for me in Vermont, Amazon is a little quicker and I have 0 patience. So I use Amazon for my supplies most of the time. And I know where it's coming from, and I don't pay shipping because I'm a Prime person because I'm obsessed. And literally I'm just going to go over, and I don't have to do the whole thing, but I want to get it on there. I'm a little worried because I have the fan going and I'm afraid it's going to dry this on me. So I want to show you what to do if it does. Okay, we're good. Phew. Get you on here, put you down. It's forgiving. If you happen to get it and it's not quite in the right place, you can kind of slide it around a little. Get it where you want it. Nothing dried on me, so I'm all good. If it did, you can just pick it up a little. Oh, see this H? Pick this up just a little bit, put a little dabble-do-ya, and you got it. All right, so there's that. I'm going to take Mr. Puppy here, the one in the stocking, and I'm going to put him, I'm going to give him a little foam dot too. He might get a couple. Back in the day, these would have been called dimensionals. As you all know, I don't do Stampin' Up! Anymore, but I do still have a embarrassing supply of dimensionals, so I will be using them for a while. And I kind of tucked this under the H, whoops, under the H a little because I don't want it to go above my card. There he is. Then this guy is going to get some glue. Don't let me forget his bone. Right? And he's going to go down here. And then my bone gets just a little bit of glue. Forgive me if I end up not in the shot. This is my first time in my new design here, and I'm trying to make sure that I don't miss you. Okay, the only other thing I did was I added 3 little sparkles. They're just little rhinestones or little dots, whatever you happen to have. Let me see what's in our collection here. Oh, these guys are cute. Again, these are some Stampin' Up! Embellishments. I'm going to go with these guys. And I tend to do 3. If you're going to do something with these little sparkles or embellishments, 3 looks good. So there is Merry Christmas ready to go. Now if I didn't like that, I could have put the C on top of here too. The beauty of these are the liquid glue gives you a couple seconds to make an adjustment. I'm good though. So there is Merry Christmas. Come back for video number 2 and we will work on our next card. See you soon. Bye. All right, my friends, this is time for card number 2. And this has this super delicate Merry Christmas on it. This is from, it's a die. It's just one. And it's piled over here and I've now lost it. But I'll show it to you at some point. It's really simple. It just cuts right straight across like so. Okay, so it cuts it straight, but we're not going to make it straight. We want it to do something else. So,
I don't know that.
oh, Alexa's questioning what I'm doing now. Okay, let's start with putting this 4 by 5 1/4 on our card base. Same deal, 8 1/2 by 11, cut in half. So now it's 5 1/2 by 8 1/2. Score at 4 1/4. Ta-da! Card front. 4 by 5 1/4 gives us this sweet little background that kind of looks like wallpaper at Grammy's house. Not this Grammy, but some Grammys. And we're going to put our wallpaper down. Right? This is your background. If you are someone who struggles with getting it exactly where you want it the first time, stick with a liquid adhesive, not a tape runner. That's not as forgiving, letting you change it. All right, so let's just kind of place things where we want. One of the tricks with Lawn Fawn is they're little. If I just put this tree smack dab in the middle of that card, it would get lost. So I want you to be over here. I kind of want my kitty somewhere on here, but I don't want him stuck under the tree because he just doesn't really go. He could go over here. That would look kind of cute. And then the present. But what I did with him on my card was I put him down here and I put my presents under the tree. Slid my tree over just a little and put my presents under the tree. Okay? All right, so that's cool. But then I want Merry Christmas. Well, if you just stick this down, you'll notice that it's kind of too big. And it gets lost. The white's cool. I don't hate it. But I kind of wanted to bring out the same color as the color of the carpeting. So here's what I did. Let's move you guys over for a minute. And I'm going to take the light version. And I am going to hold this down and I'm just going to go over my die. Just like that. Right? Now it looks like that would be super hard, but it's not. And you just lightly go over it and you color in. So now the reason I am so ecstatic about this is I do not need every color of the rainbow paper to match what I want. I can let my markers do that. Because in my previous world, I would have had to have this color just to get this tiny little piece. Well, because I used my same Nina white cardstock that I used to stamp and color all my images, I cut this out of that same paper and now I can make it match, and I'm a matchy girl. I can match this to my carpeting super easy because I use the same marker. See, it's really not hard. At first when I looked at this, I thought, well, that's going to take me a dog's age or a cat. And I was going to color in a piece of paper and then cut my die, which I could, but that takes a lot more ink and I don't need to. So there's Merry Christmas, right? Now I'm going to flip this over and I'm going to use my same adhesive that I just used on card number 1, if you saw that one. If not, it's the Lawn Fawn glue tube. And I'm just going to go along and get this on here. And I'm going to do this first before I add the other pieces, and I'll show you why when we get there. The reason I use this great little silicone mat is this glue will wipe off when I'm done. Try not to move it like I just did, because now I got glue on the front of it. You know, don't do as I do. My dad used to say, don't do as I do as I say. Yeah, okay. So try not to move it and get glue on the front. It does dry clear, so it's not the end of the world. All right, there's that. Put your cover on your glue. Slide you out of the way. Bring you down without anything on it. All righty, Mr. Merry Christmas, come along. And now I'm going to make it kind of go on a rope. Start down here in the bottom. And you're just going to work it along, making it fit on the front of your card. Right? There you go. Now I have this little tail, it's just a whisker too long, but you know, we can just trim that off if it's gonna be there. Okay, it never happened, nobody knows. Right? So there's Merry Christmas. Now I'm ready to add my tree, and again I'm going to use my dimensionals on there, or sorry, or foam dots, whatever you have. You want to pop this tree up a little bit. So pop those on the back. I already colored this one in. By the magic of television, this tree was already colored in with Spectrum Noir markers. And then he's going to go right here. And then this baby is going to get some glue on it. Whoops, he's upside down. And he is going to tuck under the tree, like so. Right? And then my kitty is going to get some foam. And again, my kitty and my carpeting, magically colored already, ready to go. I use the same coral on the cat. Now, I'm going to tell you, the picture that I showed you, this went up and over the kitty. But this kind of goes wherever it wants to go. You kind of got to go with it. So now the kitty's going to sit on top of it, and it's still okay. And then I'm going to add, again, some really pretty somethings, a little sparkle, a little something on there to add some glimmer. Again, in threes, because your eye tends to follow them. And there you go. Card number 2, right? This one is simpler. This is open space here, but I like it because we're looking at the Merry Christmas, the cat, and the tree. Now, if you're not a pastel-y pale person, if you like brighter colors, you can definitely use, I could have used this, the dark red blend, and I could have done Merry Christmas in the dark if I wanted it. That's the beauty of it. It can be any color that you like. All right, I can't wait to see your card number 2, and card number 3 is coming up soon.